So I had a comment on my backstory video where somebody was asking about what my thoughts were on cryptocurrencies. I thought I would make a quick video on crypto to discuss my thoughts and whether I see it as a good investment right now. First, let's give a quick rundown on cryptocurrencies. So a cryptocurrency is just a form of digital currency. Like other countries' currencies, or the USD or the CAD, they have some form of value compared to others. What makes cryptocurrencies unique is that they're designed so that the ownership records are actually stored within an online ledger. So this ledger is within a database that uses strong cryptography to secure the transaction records.
You may not think about encryption much, but it is pretty fundamental to all our lives.
This is also used to control the creation of additional coins and also verify transaction records if you buy or sell or give away or take some form of crypto. It generally doesn't exist in any form of physical medium, so you don't have like a paper crypto generally, and technically it could go onto like a flash drive or something like that, but it's still not really physical, I guess. Another thing that's really interesting is that it's actually not developed or created by any form of government. So it's completely decentralized. So the first of its kind and still the most popular and the most expensive is Bitcoin, which I'm sure you've heard of. And Bitcoin debuted in 2009. One thing that's kind of interesting is that the creator of Bitcoin is actually unknown. There's a whole, you could probably make a whole other video on this, but nobody really knows. There's a lot of theories as to who created it, but it also looks like there's billions of dollars in Bitcoin based off of this online ledger that are unaccounted for and potentially just lost, but nobody really knows. So I first heard about crypto and kind of started to look into it in October of 2017. I was a little late to the game considering Bitcoin came out in 2009. My main focus at the time was a cryptocurrency called Ethereum. It's still a huge cryptocurrency today, but the reason I was interested in it was because my coworkers were interested in it and they were all investing money into it, so I figured I'd take a look and see what all the hype was about. So at the time, Ethereum cost around $300 for one Ethereum. So I invested a few $1,000s into Ethereum at the time and was very happy to see that it started to skyrocket. I kind of got in right at kind of the lower part of Ethereum. And I ended up cashing out when it was around $700. So I made $400 per Ethereum. Unfortunately, I also, after seeing Ethereum skyrocket, I also decided that crypto was like free money, because rookie investor here, and decided to invest in other forms of crypto, which did not do as well. So in the end, I kind of ended up breaking even, but I think it was a pretty positive use case or positive experience that I had, because I got to learn a little bit and also see how something could go up so much and see how others could go down so much. So looking at some of the other huge cryptocurrencies within the world, namely Bitcoin, you can't really help but get excited as an investor. If you just look at the graph for Bitcoin, you can see that it plummets and then is worth nearly 10 times the amount just mere months later. It's like the dream of most investors, assuming you get in at the right time, which is the huge asterisk between any form of investment if you're gonna try and buy low and sell high. So in this year alone, mind you, it was a bit of a strange year, the lowest that Bitcoin reached was around $3,800. And that was back in March when the stock market also kind of plummeted a bit. Now in December right now, it's actually the highest it's ever been, which is a little over $27,000. So yes, if you invested $3,000, $3,800 into Bitcoin back in March, you would have over $27,000 in Bitcoin right now, which I know sounds great. That's over a 700% increase between March and December, which you generally will never get in any form of stock. Certainly not in that time frame. I don't know about you, but I think that's enough to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps a lot. So I'll just wait a second. Thanks. So again, talking about how the lowest point for Bitcoin was in March, it's worth noting that just before March, a little bit before March, it was sitting around $10,300, and then it did drop to $3,800. So it's like around a 300% drop. So yes, the stock market did fall in March, but for the most part, it didn't come close to 300%. So, do I invest in any form of cryptocurrency? The answer is yes, but I do not really look at it as a form of investment. I would more say that I am betting on crypto. Do I think that crypto will rise in the future? Absolutely, 100%. In fact, since I started planning this video, it's raised about $4,000, specifically Bitcoin. Do I think that it will also fall? Absolutely. I think it will both go up, skyrocket, and I think it will also plummet. So because of this uncertainty, I kind of like to look at it more as just a bet.
If you bet on the wrong thing and you bet too much, you're like, why'd you make that bet? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to play.
I'm having fun. I'm not a professional gambler. Yeah.
So betting on crypto versus investing in crypto. That means that if I'm going to be betting on crypto, or we can say investing for this case, but if I'm going to be investing into crypto and I look at it more as a bet, the money that I'm putting in there, if it drops down to zero and I lose all of it, I need to be comfortable with that. So of course, bets have weights and skews. So you may think that the current status of Bitcoin at $27,000, and you may think that it will skyrocket to $100,000 in the next year, which some people say might actually happen, then by all means, go for it. I think it's awesome if it does, because that's a huge increase, you know, a 4x increase. So for my bet specifically, I do have some money in Bitcoin, but it's money that if it just totally disappeared and went to zero, I'd be pretty comfortable with it. So just to be clear, if I were to invest $5,000 into crypto, I would look at that $5,000 as if I'm kind of betting on like a lottery ticket, or, you know, a horse race or something like that, or, you know, blackjack or something. So I know you may be saying that, how do you look at it as a bet? Because with a bet, you generally can't just cash out whenever you want, and that's totally fair. So if you're going to invest like a large portion of your savings,
let me give you a tip. The best way to diversify your portfolio is to put all your money in Bitcoin. There's virtually no risk.
probably shouldn't do it in crypto. The reason for that is just that if you are investing in crypto and it does go south, then potentially all of your savings could be lost. Whereas if you invest in something like the S&P 500, it's relatively a pretty safe bet. As we've talked about before in our Invest Now video, the S&P 500 generally goes up about 8% year over year. Sure, that 8% is nothing compared to the 700% increase we've seen in crypto this year, but it's also a lot more guaranteed than that crypto change. I think investment is all about risk management. Sure, you could invest in crypto and get really lucky, but that's a very risky move. Whereas if you invest in something that's more safe and you can see a steady growth, it's a lot more safe for the long run. It's also worth noting that those safe investments can still give you some great returns. What are your thoughts on crypto? Do you have money in crypto? Do you disagree with my thoughts on crypto? Leave a comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts. I, for one, am excited to see where crypto goes. And if my little bet skyrockets, then that's great too. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching my video. Feel free to like and subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later. I try and post videos every Wednesday, so I will see you next Wednesday. Cheers.